All right, we are live. Welcome in, everybody, to the Bounty Hunters. I don't think I've said that in like 20 episodes.
Hunting mountains.
Let's go.
Love it.
All right. So who are we doing tonight, Canadian? And it's not your mom.
Just another rebellion leader, General Jan Dodonna.
Is it Jan or is it Jan? How do you say that?
I was saying Jan.
Everybody was saying Jan on all the YouTube videos I watched because I was kind of wondering that myself.
Yeah.
Well, we're saying Jan.
Maybe it is Jan. He just doesn't want to. Everyone keeps saying Jan, so he doesn't want to correct anyone now. It's just been too many times.
Or maybe he was always a Jan, but then people were like, meh, he's a Janet. And so then sometimes he said John. So
yeah, well, I spent too long in Germany, so it's Jan there. But then I guess it would be Yabba the Hutt and Yango.
Yabba Dabba Do the Hutt.
And they'd be
what kind of dark path are you trying to lead us down, sir? All right, well, let's do it. Where is it? Jan Dodonna was a celebrated military officer who served with the Republic Navy during the Clone Wars, the Navy of the Galactic Empire, and later as a general in the Rebellion. Dodonna was the leader of the Massassi Group, one of the largest cells in the Alliance High Command. He led the Alliance Sector Command, as well as the military leader of the Rebel Alliance's fortress on Yavin 4. As the military leader, he formulated the plan that led to the successful Battle of Yavin and the destruction of the Death Star. After the Battle of Yavin, Dodonna ordered the evacuation of Yavin 4 in search of a new base of operations. He then joined the Alliance fleet and helped the rest of the Alliance High Command to oversee the war effort. Later, Dodonna was stationed with the remainder of the High Command while he commanded the heavy starship the Republic. During what became his last battle, Dodonna showed his concern for his fellow comrades. Not wanting to risk any more lives, he ordered his flagship to remain hidden and just regroup with any survivors from the devastating attack at the space docks. However, after talking to Luke Skywalker, Dodonna opted to return and help anyone stranded there, and he ultimately sacrificed his own life to ensure the Alliance survival and his fellow rebels to live to fight another day. Dodonna's death wasn't in vain, however. Thanks to his sacrifice, members of the High Command, including Chancellor Mon Mothma, Admiral Akbar, General Hera Syndulla, and Commander Leia Organa, managed to survive, and they continued to fight to restore the Republic. Eventually, the Alliance fleet, led by Akbar, participated in the Battle of Endor, resulting in the death of Emperor Palpatine, along with the destruction of the second Death Star, and eventually collapsing the Empire itself. Tonight, we discuss one of the most important generals, one of the most important military minds of the rebellion, Jan Dodonna. Join us. All right. I could hear it in my voice when I was doing that. Was my best effort. A lot of rushing going on because I had, instead of like 2 hours to get it right, I had about 4 or 5 minutes to get that done.
You're impressive.
It was honestly, that's what I sound like to myself. I can hear it.
I thought it was sped up.
Yeah, no, it's just me talking fast because I was sitting here going, like, I was like, oh my God, look at the clock. And I was like, I got 10 minutes. Okay, go. And like, so the little thing I wrote out, I was like, and then the only thing that I had to do, which I think one part sounds bad because I edited it, I could not for the life of me get out like all the people who survived, like Mon Mothma. I couldn't get it every time because I was talking so fast. I was like stumbling over my words. So finally, I like in myself, I said, all right, Craig, after this, you need to edit this down. Mon Mothma. General Admiral Akbar. And then I had to go back and cut him out because I could not do it fast. I was like, I don't know. And then I ended up having to cut out his first name completely because I could not get Admiral Akbar's first name while trying to talk fast.
It doesn't help. They're both the names are like I can't remember the term for it where it's the same. It's the first letter of both names starts the same. Because you have Mon Mothma, right? Admiral Akbar.
Yeah. All right. So the thing I would say after looking into this fella and getting a lot of stuff done with him was he is horribly underused in Star Wars.
He's a much more interesting character than I thought he was going in. More
like
deep.
I think he might be a victim of like going back and not a victim, it would be like a hero of going back and rewriting, and and you only had 4 or 5 people to choose from in the leadership, maybe even less than that when a grand scheme thing happens, and you can only give out so much. So you had Mon Mothma and her little boy over there who was all about peace, and you had Admiral Akbar who was the Navy. So they kind of like, okay, so what do we do with the planning, the attack, the army?
Yeah,
and it's kind of like,
the strategic.
I would just give it to this other guy, the only other guy's name we know, and we're just gonna give it all to him because I was like, man, he kind of did a whole lot. Holy cow!
Yeah, he literally he was literally the guy who planned. When he got the plans for the Death Star, he was the one who figured out where they should be attacking and the plan that should be made. The exhaust port is the best point.
Speaking of which, I only got one clip in because I was running out of time. I do apologize for laziness. But I figure like this is the clip. Before I clip it, I did not in any way. Disney, you own all these. You know that. Lucas, Disney. I am just a small flea on the ass that is your world. I did not anyway edit these. I edited them. Of course I did. But I didn't put any shenanigans in it. So it's just raw footage of the amazingness. But I had to put this down here. Okay, here we go. Here's the only clip I made.
The battle station is heavily shielded and carries a firepower greater than half the Starfleet. Its defenses are designed around a direct, large-scale assault. A small, one-man fighter should be able to penetrate the outer defense.
Pardon me for...
All right.
Han's like,
so,
no.
Yeah. I like how everybody, only Luke Skywalker was like, oh, yeah, no, it's going to be done. And everybody else has their arm crossed, rolling their eyes, this freaking old jackass, you don't even know what he's doing. It Chewie looks at him like, are you listening to this? And he's like, yeah, whatever. Like, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just figured that clip right there had to be shown because that's kind of.
Oh, I mean, the most important clip. It has all of his lines of dialogue. And
well, I mean, there's some from Rebels and stuff that I like, but that was going to take me a while to filter through all that because Rebels is cartoon, so there's a lot of cuts and jump cuts, and it would have been quite a cutting.
There's a fun one too. Like obviously, so when Rogue One, the actor for him there, so he looks different because it's obviously a different actor. And it actually shocked me because I realized who the actor was. He was an old British actor, but basically, if you watched Game of Thrones, he played Barristan Selmy, one of the Kingsguard Knights.
Oh, so, seriously? Wow. Oh, yeah.
It is him. That. So hopefully, if we do see, I haven't watched the Andor episodes yet. Yeah. But if he does show up in the show and that actor comes back in any form, that would be very good.
Andor? What is that?
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
Some kind of...
I got defensive. Oh, come on. I usually watch it at work, but today was just crazy, man. Today was like the craziest day at work. So I've gotten so used to now watching, even though it's on a small screen, I got literally an 80-inch TV in here. It's a smaller screen because it's at work, but I have headphones on. And I've gotten so used to like the headphone thing that I almost can't watch it without headphones now.
You listen to all the details. Yeah.
This is 100% true. What I do is right before we start, I just watch like 3 YouTube videos and then I just regurgitate that. And
then you lie about the other half of the information. And
and then the rest of it, I just kind of make up on the fly. Nobody really watches these, so it's like no one's correcting me. Like, no one's like, that's a bunch of crap. But it's just like, nobody knows.
Yeah.
If I just use a bunch of dates and say a bunch of like you were just saying, like I would say Yar Yarnith was his commander. Nobody knows what that is. They're like, that sounds right. That sounds like a Star Wars name. I can do that all day.
But yeah, with this character though, he's interesting because you have so many of the rebellion high command, especially so many pacifists, so many just peace loving people. I'm not a separatist, but then you have him who is like honestly, he didn't even really join the rebellion out of like pure hatred for the Empire. Like he was in the Empire as a captain of Star Destroyer, and he did understand and respect how the Empire worked with its control and fear, but he just didn't like how brutal they eventually became.
Yeah,
which would lead them to join the rebellion. But like obviously we'll talk more about it, especially in the comics, but like, do you guys know the story? I think Kachun remembers me typing in the chat before how he left the Empire, like what standing he left on.
No, I don't remember that.
Okay, so
wait, is that in Empire?
In Empire, and then they just had it in books and such where he was there.
I got to crack it. It's still sealed.
Jesus Christ.
Break it open on camera. So basically, he was at least in Legends too. He was one of the first captains of a Star Destroyer, and he basically did a lot of like extermination of like the last Separatist forces, and then eventually a bunch of different pirates and groups like that. Over time, he basically became like known as a pretty big like hero and legend of the Empire and the Outer Rim, going through taking down stuff. And then over time, he just wasn't liking how brutal everything became, and he voiced his opinion on it. And then in the end, he decided to leave and retire, based on philosophical differences. And because of how legendary he was, his status, he was one of the only people to get a severance package. He was given.
Severance package is pretty amazing, actually.
His severance package, he was given.
Hold on, before you say what it is. Yeah. You're not going to guess it, but tell me if somebody ever got a better severance package than this.
Probably never.
He got a holocron.
His severance package was for his home world, which if I was smart, I would have a name pulled up already. His home world, he was given control of the moon that orbited their planet. So he became the owner of the moon, basically.
They gave him the moon,
which then raised us. Huh?
I think it's called Commonor or something.
Yeah, something of a C there. And he owned the moon, and then he raised his family there, and eventually he joined the rebels. And yeah,
it's crazy how many moons are inhabitable.
Yeah.
What's crazy is the fact that
habitable.
I don't know what happened that he witnessed, but how bad must it have been, or how many people came to him and said something that you gave up a moon, like because you knew that once you joined the rebels, they're taking that moon back from you, and it's like, hey, babe, I think I'm gonna join the rebels. He's like, are you crazy? We have a moon. You're gonna sit your ass right there and stay retired. What you're gonna do?
Yeah. All right, here you go. So they were given the moon Braylor, which circled the world of Commonor. Yeah. So
and hopefully exempt from any, Death Star shooting.
Yeah, definitely didn't help. So the son. I didn't look too much into his son, but basically he actually died at the Battle of Yavin. He was one of the pilots as well. So not only did his son die.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No way when he got back home after the war, there's no way the wife was like just happy to see him. She was sitting there with rebel pay, which means almost nothing, in some crappy like underground bunker, just giving him a dirty look and shaking her head the whole time. We had a family. We're living on the moon. Look where we are now. Jean.
They didn't name a destroyer after him.
Yeah.
Maybe they did.
They got so ready to have the moon. As cool as that sounds, like I want the moon. I don't think they can keep the destroyer.
But yeah, pretty crazy for that. So I found that out. I was like, well, that's interesting. And then obviously him joining with the rebellion, as he was like one of the more strategic and just generally more adept military commanders, everyone really followed him. And again, he did not like the Empire. He just didn't like how brutal everything was. So depending really if the Palpatine was taken out of place and the Empire was there, he probably would have been fine with that.
Too much.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So, like in the thing I said, so he did all the fighting. There is some stuff with the rebels where he was around at the beginning of that and helped organize and do some stuff with rebels. And then obviously later on, I'm not sure because I was getting some conflicting reports. Maybe you guys know that there's like possibly 2 deaths, maybe even 3 deaths of his that's still floating around out there. But most of them, it seems like he just kind of died of old age in retirement.
Yeah.
Is one.
So for canon, it's pretty cut and dry where he died and how he died. But Legends, it was almost like how Mon Mothma, where she retired, and then we didn't hear anything about her after. He really, once the New Republic got set in stone, he kind of faded. Like, we don't know if he retired or whatnot. He just kind of faded out of like the spotlight.
Yeah, we don't need our heroes to grow old and shit themselves as they die. We need to go out
He was
in a ball
already
of
pretty old. He was
fire.
already pretty old to begin with. So.
I remember back when I fought Darth Vader with one hand, boy. And it's like, no, that's not what happened. Yeah, it was. You weren't there. I saw it go down.
I have a moon and you don't.
I had a moon at one time. They're like,
Okay,
that old man
Granddad.
tells the craziest stories. But yeah, so there was a attack on a dock, space docks, and he was like, everyone was dying, so he was like, we're just gonna hide. Apparently, Luke Skywalker, who I'm gonna tell you right now, he's put a lot of people in some dangerous positions over the years. He was like, listen, you can hide here, or you can go help people, evacuate. And what I mean by that is you can stand in the way and basically die, and then we'll all get away. And he's like, well, there's no way I can face the wife after losing a moon. And obviously the severance pay is not going to be great. So yeah, this is probably the best way to go. And he sacrificed himself so the rest of the brain trust could get away.
Yeah.
Now, looking back on what happened, First Order, the whole 9.5, we just did Mon Mothma. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. Was that the best choice? I mean, Princess Leia made it out. Akbar made it out. This is important. But like, if his military mind was there after they won, and he was there to say, maybe we shouldn't reduce all of our war by 90% and just become a peaceful. Maybe the First Order doesn't show up and blow up all the planets.
Yeah, really. Considering he was basically, other than Akbar, he was the only other world military mind.
Yeah,
and
Akbar,
he was just. He was just basically, he was a great starship, and he wasn't like a infantry or like a general.
I mean, those movies that must not be named, they kind of treat Akbar like he was ready to retire the moment, he Bradbury said it's a trap. He was ready to retire and kind of get out of the spotlight. So I don't know what would have happened if he hadn't died at that moment. He might have just said, hey, maybe we reduce to like 70% and not 90% of our forces, and just make sure. Because you'd have to think, if you know anything about military, obviously this is a fantasy world, so this doesn't count. But like anything about military, and I'm assuming even in the fantasy world, this is what happens, because this is what happens. There is a vacuum that happens when a superpower goes down. Oh, yeah. And it happens all over, it's always happened that way. So just to go for, and I know that there was, warrior, and there were all a bunch of hippies who happened to like bare their teeth, but at the same time, to just like immediately go down to like 90%. I don't know if a tactician that he was reported to be, I don't know if he would have been like, yeah, that sounds great. That's my vote too. Like, I don't think he would have done that.
That makes no sense.
The Dodonna will.
It's a rebellion. I mean, if you're fighting against the Empire, why would you reduce it at all?
Yeah. And again, he also was not against the Empire fully. So he probably been like, no, we should keep some of these Star Destroyers. I think they're really well designed. Mind you, I drove my own. I think we should keep mine at least. And then...
Listen, I gave up a moon. I'm keeping them Star Destroyer. I'm going to tell you right now. This one is mine. I got to go home with something. Them. You can't send me home with a shuttle. I got to go home with something.
Gut them, renovate them, like an old school bus.
I do remember, and this is really bad since we're doing the deep dive of this character, but I do know in Rebels, he did go up against the blue man, Mr. Thrawn, and
Not Max Rebo.
So there is that, this is supposed to be the greatest mind in all of Star Wars for military and such. Yeah. So, I mean, he did go up against him, and it wasn't a complete ass beating, but so there is that. Like, he did
pretty decent.
Yeah, he went up against him. I don't know what about Legends though. I don't know if they ever went up against Shadow Legends, but
they did. Rebels, if I'm not mistaken, in the Thrawn trilogy, in the second part, Dark Rising. I don't know the super details there either, but obviously, in the end, we know who lives and who didn't.
Hey, we haven't gone everyone yet. Don't be putting spoilers out there.
Oh, okay. I guess we'll have to do Thrawn and spend about 3 hours.
Yeah, when we do Thrawn, we can all put our Thrawn books behind us, and so that we can show how we all have one of those books.
All right.
That's fine. I'll throw up all the new Thrawn stuff. I cry, sadly.
All right. Well, I think that's kind of it on as far as the TV shows and movies goes. I mean, other than when we go through and look through everything. So is there anything else to add?
There was one important thing. Wasn't he the first person to say, "May the force be with you"?
He was, which is such a really funny thing. When I was looking up like quotes from him, he said it before. Like Obi-Wan doesn't say it in the movie at all. He says a variation, and Han says, "May the force be with you" after Jan does.
Yep.
I do have a PS4. I don't have a PS5, but I have a PS4.
But yeah, it's interesting that he was the first person.
And it's in that clip that I had, but there's a lot of stuff going on, so I couldn't. I was gonna try to do that one too, but then I would have been even more editing, so I didn't get a chance to do that. So that's interesting. That would be one of those like trivia things you could do, when you really want to, nerd out to somebody, is like who actually said "May the force be with you" first.
And then they have to say Jan Dodonna.
Got to, because pronunciation counts. This is like 12th grade history. It counts. You don't say it right, it doesn't count.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, otherwise, comic wise, there's a lot to cover for him, and a lot of actually pretty great moments too, especially in canon. We'll be looking at.
I'm not sure if I have Star Wars Battlefront 2. Yeah, I do, not for the PlayStation. I don't think.
I was gonna get it from GameStop.
I have the Xbox version, I think.
I still need to try and find it.
All right, let's see here. All right, let's just jump right into the comic books and everything else. And I will share my screen.
Kenneth Bird.
Hello, Bert. I can't highlight you. Give me a second here. I'll cancel this just for you. Hello.
Celebrity.
Oh, celebrities are always here, except for Jeffrey. That was the only non-celebrity we got tonight.
Well, yeah, Delphia and I just.
All right, now we're going right back into the share of the screen.
You and Delphia, what, Christian?
We got a PS4. She bought it for me for my birthday, but we haven't used it that much.
Well, there's going to be lots of good Star Wars games at least to jump into. And you can also play a bunch of the older ones backwards on the console too.
Backwards?
Like any of the games from the previous generation, PS2 and PS3, you can play on there as well.
Like playing a DVD on a Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, don't be using my Christian name. What are you doing? We're supposed to have we're supposed to hide on the internet.
So yeah, we got some appearances here. So movie-wise, obviously A New Hope is his first appearance. And then Rogue One, he shows up with a different actor. Rebels, he shows up in 3 or technically 5 episodes. So Secret Cargo is the first one, season 3. And then 0 Hour, part 1 and 2. And then In the Name of Rebellion, part 1 and 2, we talked about with both Mothma and Saw Gerrera.
Of course, he would have showed up in that one.
Mm-hmm. And then Crawler Commanders. And then I wrote upcoming Andor because they never confirmed it, but it only does make sense that we'll probably see him at least at some point. Especially if he's leaving the Empire. And it'd be hilarious if we see him on his moon. But so anyways, after that, so legend-wise, so he has lots of comic appearances here. A lot in the original Star Wars run. So his first appearance is issue 5.
Yeah, I need that one.
Yeah, he follows up with issue 6, 8, and 9. 8 and 9 is part of the Siege of Yavin arc.
Hey, did you guys know that I need Star Wars number 2? Anybody know that? Ever mentioned that before?
I mean, we already talked about eBay many times. And then after that, we'll get some Droids number 8 we'll be looking at. That's a fun one. And he shows up later on Dark Empire 2 and Vader's Quest 1, some random ones. Now, Empire, issue 9, 12, and 15, he shows up in. They're all actually quite good. Those are probably some of the highlights for his character in Legends. And then we see him as a young captain in issue 78 of Republic.
Hey, did you see that cover? It's apparently it's a what do you call it? Homage to one of the earliest Star Wars covers. With Vader going like this. And Mike Mayhew just did a cover like that.
Oh, that okay. I think I remember.
Yeah.
I actually think we're gonna see the cover.
We'll see it here in a bit. Yeah.
The Republic issue. But yeah, that's his first appearance.
What?
Obviously,
he's not over the shoulder. Why do we do this guy?
It's hard to tell if he's over the shoulder. Would you say he's kind of front and center more than anything.
But did you also know? Spoiler alert! This is his first appearance as the Wizard in white, right there.
Dodonna the White. Dodonna the Blue, actually. But yeah, and then at the end, a very aggressive "May the Force be with you" instead of a gentle one.
He did. That's don't use capital letters when you type that stuff out, bro.
He's also so powerful. He's poking through the panels at you.
Look at that.
And the funny thing is, it would read like this: "And may the Force be with you." Like that seems really weird way to say that, but all right.
But yeah. So this one here, so I skipped a bunch of the other Star Wars. So mostly in the Star Wars run in the Volume 1, he was the guy to send people on missions. He's like, you're gonna go on this mission, Luke. Leia, you're staying at base because you're a woman.
Is he God? Like, why is he all in white with the God beater?
So this issue is the start of the Siege of Yavin story arc, and that's him there setting up the plans for the defense of Yavin.
How would you not listen to him? Look at him; he's like glowing. Hey, so also, if everybody wants to know why Princess Leia has her weird hair, it's to fit inside the astronaut suit right there.
Well, Kachun has that action figure, as we know already.
Oh my
God! We don't talk about that. We don't talk about this. Here we go.
Those are two other issues that part of the Siege at Yavin arc. Just the two covers of it. We've talked about the one on the right already before, Baylor.
Yeah, with the half face guy.
Yeah. Now this one, so we've already talked about this issue way back with Tarkin. I think the Droids comics are having some has some untapped gold here.
Yeah.
So we have ourselves Dodonna there in that pink jumper. So basically,
Who's this guy?
It's R. I have no idea. R.
It's just R. He's like R Reggae 5 or something.
So basically, Dodonna. So the Droids 8. It's like a revisioned history of the New Hope, and obviously they changed some of the designs, as we'll see in the next panel, of a really good image for Jan Dodonna.
First off, we can talk about that. This is also the first appearance. Spoiler, specular. This is the first appearance of the short lightsabers right there. So that's short. First time you see short bladed lightsabers right there. Confirmed.
He looks like
Also,
he's got one of those parkas you wear on Everest. I like the big.
Oh yeah, I like the colors too.
Down.
There you go.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
That's an amazing image. I thought. Also, I really like R2D2. Super, like he's italic mode right now. He's looking in italics. Yeah.
Looking at the big thermometer. His big blue buttons.
He's like, when we go to that one planet with all the snow, the temperature's gonna go do. It's just gonna be terrible.
If you go dressed up to a con like that, it's like someone asking for cosplay.
Should have put the zoomed in on that face.
Yeah, so these are two issues. He just pops up in Dark Empire 2 and then Vader's Quest. Vader's Quest actually has some pretty interesting covers. I read a little bit of it, but it definitely is interesting. It's where he originally finds out that Luke is Skywalker in Legends. And he actually has a very, very similar moment to compare to canon when Boba Fett tells him. Because when Boba Fett tells him he stands with Skywalker, he cracks the glass on the Star Destroyer. In this, like a drunkard kind of like person gets the information, tells him, and he ends up crushing a bunch of stuff around him too.
I like this robot though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, droid. I apologize. Nobody get triggered.
So this issue here, this is a really good one. So this is issue number 9 of Empire. We've actually covered this before too, but this one, so this takes place just after the Battle of Yavin. So Mon Mothma is telling everyone there that, basically saying like, thank you, like this is a horrible day. Thank you all for that. But she basically says that, General Dodonna, you're in charge now. like we wouldn't be here without your leadership. And basically telling that the other people in the room that he's the guy in charge of everything now. Now that the other some of the other leaders had died as well going into the battle.
And he's apparently very allergic to shellfish, so he got a little bit allergy response.
No, that's a different guy.
He licked Akbar or something. No, look at both of them. Look, everyone's eyes are like swole shut.
And the next panel is pretty great. So basically, at the top, there's after Mothma leaves her thing, all the other generals in the room basically say, Mothma's words hang in the air, resonating with the judgment of the men in the room. To both a stated truth and its unspoken implication. Basically being like, the rest are like, we're glad we're getting back to logistic issues and not talking about sentiment and peace. And then what
you're saying is it's time to put the women, children to bed and go looking for dinner. Is that what you're saying? Something to start kicking ass.
Yeah. And then what's his name says instead to no, we'll grieve for a bit to honor our fallen comrade and such. And he actually gives it. I didn't include it here because it basically takes up a whole page spread. He does a really good speech to the soldiers after the battle.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's the cover that gets homage later on. The one you're talking about, yeah. But yes, this one cool. Here, it's in the middle of the Republic arc. On the right there, so the guy in the top right, the one on the right side of each of those panels is Dodonna, is young Dodonna. Talking to this other guy about, how being promoted and such with the new empire. And then them meeting the Emperor after he's been scarred for the first time, as well as meeting Darth Vader for the first time, too.
He looks a bit like Kenobi.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, and then canon-wise, so he shows up in the original the first volume of the Star Wars run, issue 4, and then it appears again 9. He shows up in Leia issue 1, and then obviously Rogue One, 1 and 4. No speaking lines, but just shows up in the background. And then we get into the big Hope Dies story arc where he eventually dies in issue 55.
Great. Those some amazing battles and art in that.
Yeah, the space battle specifically very good.
And don't forget, that's where they first put together Rogue Squadron.
Yep. We covered that actually before too, haven't we?
I have it behind me.
Oh, he has behind him. How nice.
Yeah.
He is the most prepared person in the world for characters that we do.
And then we have variants of the Mile Hawk.
One variant, and it's also it's the first canon, but it's also the only cover appearance of him, which is funny to think about.
Well, good job.
It's not a galactic icon. It should be.
Would you think? But he's not an iconic man. So issue 4 is his first appearance there. He's in the top right in the table screen there.
That's first Santa.
Where?
Solo, actually, but
no, top right in the very bottom panel, top right.
Oh, you mean here? Okay, I thought you were talking up here. I was like,
right
which one is him?
Because
this man's got way more hair than this fella here. I don't want to hear that. He's got a beautiful head of hair.
But yeah, okay. That whole meeting, he actually doesn't speak a single word, so he's been silently listening to everything. And then issue 1 of Leia. Yeah. Issue 1 of Leia, he shows up. This is again after Yavin 4, so everyone's kind of looking to Leia to make kind of a speech as well. She kind of fumbles some words, so he jumps in there, makes a pretty great speech about taking down the Empire today, but we're gonna have to leave. Everyone pack your shit. We're gonna have to go. They know we're here.
It's a great Dodson cover.
You got the sweet eyebrows. You always got to respect some of the eyebrows like that. They know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. And then some interesting panels here where he's talking to Leia about Leia basically wants to do her part in helping with setup stuff for missions and everything because he's sending off everyone else different ways. And he's saying like he knew her parents and how rebellious they were and how strong they were, but he says that she's a symbol of the Alliance and shows her a bounty that's on her head, to which would be an insane amount of credits, and it's too dangerous to let her leave. To which she defies them and then sneaks out in the night like a child sneaking out of their parents' house.
listen, like we've said 1,000 times, these people are way better artists than I could ever be. But she seems to change ethnicities from time to time on just one little spread here. Like that seems to be a totally different person than that. Who seems that might be a different person
He's taking
than
cues
this.
from Padme's handmaidens.
Yeah, apparently, and then the totally different person than this. Like it's really weird, but it's all cool. Oh, this freaking comic! I'm so sick of seeing this Rogue One number.
Yeah, so
guess who has it behind him? Just saying,
it's not incentive enough to get Rogue One number 1 at this point. Yeah, but basically he just shows up in the background as the panels. So issue 1 and 4 as he shows up in both awesome covers.
No doubt.
So issue 45, here's a fun one. So it's him with the rest of the High Council of the Rebel leaders. So you have Mon Mothma. Yep,
yeah,
Dodonna, Akbar,
Wedge.
Yep, we got for Wedge here, and then we have General Draven in the corner from Rogue One. But also in the crowd, you have Hera and Zeb.
Right.
Just staring right at the camera, basically.
It's like the worst hidden Easter egg ever.
Yeah. So these are the 3 covers to the Hope Dies arc, basically starting it off. That cover on the left, issue 50, is gorgeous. I love that. With all the different blueprint designs of the ships in the crazy cape.
Yeah. Subtle.
So issue 54, this is where Luke convinces him to go back and, basically play the distraction to let everyone else escape.
Yeah.
And he makes a good quote here saying, "Oh, Skywalker, you cannot understand the responsibility of high command. It is easy to sacrifice yourself, but to make the decision to sacrifice others is something else entirely." So he decides to sacrifice himself and everyone on a ship. So
I feel like he said this a lot because he's trying to remind people or something. Because he just says it a lot.
He's like, always I am the OG. I have it copyrighted. I have this thing copyrighted. There's no other Jedi around to take it from me. So yeah, issue 55 is the issue where he dies. So he goes in there blasting at the Executor to take his distraction for now. And then ultimately the shields, if you go to the next panel, yeah. The shield.
I was going to say, before we go past this one, though, that did remind me of a quote that I read that Thrawn said that he was confident and aggressive, so he knew he wouldn't back down from this. So this actually plays up to what it seems like the Empire knew of him, that he might turn around and start shooting at people. So it was a pretty good distraction move, actually.
Mm-hmm. And then ultimately the shields go down the ship. It gives enough time for everyone else to hyperspace away, leaving him alone. And then he says, his last quote, "It's nearly over. I'm proud of you all," just before the ship gets destroyed.
He also, he seemed to, in the stress of it all, his hair got a little longer, but that's okay. I mean, stressful things happen to people.
Maybe he got captured.
And then this is the variant cover, the only cover with him on it, and it's part of that that variant series of Mile High Comics, which we actually showed off with Mon Mothma already. There's also, I think,
does anybody need any more? I'm not a hater on these two, but I mean, get them the hell off the cover. Like, why are they there? Get them the hell off. It doesn't even make sense.
So yeah, I think there were 2 other covers with the grid behind it. But that would be all the comics. Jesus,
I didn't even know this existed.
So this is his only figure. He has no Kenner figure. He has no Black Series figure. He has no other kind of Star Wars figure except this Star Wars Universe figure, A New Hope, and he has the 3 medals, which is pretty funny. And then he has a blaster and what I have to assume is his biggest laptop I've ever seen in my life.
It's a suitcase.
His suitcase. But yeah.
What's happening, John? John said when he's stressed, he tends to lose hair. I don't know. This man grows it. I don't know. He had his own moon, so maybe his genetics got messed up when he was living on his own moon.
Hey, John.
That is sweet looking.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy. So his only
Look how
Lego,
cool he looks.
his only Lego set's actually a pretty recent one. It was a X-wing set with him on it, and that's his figure up close.
Awesome.
What a random thing to put him on, just a random X-wing thing.
Yeah,
they give him
X-wing. Yeah, Luke Skywalker's X-wing for like Death Star, and that's him. I guess
that
like,
slick
maybe we
back
need to add
hair.
another figure in here, and that was the only thing that made sense, I guess.
I
You
guess.
can reenact. No, it's not that bad. I used to zero in. Never mind. We all know.
No, they wanted a way to bring in that hairstyle into the Lego series.
They had them all.
It's slick
I'm
back.
loving
John
that hairstyle.
arrived at the right time. He loves his Lego figures.
What in the
Yeah.
world?
Yeah, so
Did somebody die today? Like, what is up with this picture?
I was looking for some good background photos. This was a fun one. It's the original actor, and he had like a candid photo taken of him in the costume.
It's a fun one.
That's a cool picture, though.
Mm-hmm. So on to some sad news. The
sad?
only goddamn movie they had scheduled has been canceled and removed completely from Disney's upcoming schedules. They have a list of movie blocks, like what movies are in each block, and like untitled films and such for release dates. And Rogue One was removed from the one that they had originally, and there's only one other Star Wars movie in the block. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, it's this untitled Star Wars movie, and it's like 2028 or something.
Why do they got to? I just mentioned Rogue Squadron. Why do they got to do this?
I don't understand why you guys are upset because they haven't shown a. I don't know.
Because it's
Like
the
the fact
only
they canceled
Star
this.
Wars movie to come out.
They should do a similar movie, but do it from the TIE Fighter, like the comic series TIE Fighter. They should do it from.
That'd be pretty funny. We're removing Rogue Squadron. We're going TIE.
You know what they should do? They should redo this movie, but actually get directors and actors who have done something before. That's probably one of the problems here.
That have actually read and seen Star Wars content.
Well, that is, I don't know if it's sad because I don't know if it was going to be good or not. But if it was good, it's sad, obviously.
I mean, this is another spin-off film, and it could have been good. I'm more excited just because it's been a film. We've been in so many TV series. We haven't had a movie, and since
the series, it just works for them. I guess everyone's doing them now.
Yeah,
it's a way they can get subscribers because then they just release a few.
It's way less. It's way less negative. Like it's safer to do the TV series than it is.
But it's so funny because I can't imagine them being profitable compared to like a movie. A movie, literally direct profit.
They need subscribers. I mean,
yeah, but that's what they're saying. It's more about the subscribers, right? Like if you can get people just to pay the $10 a month and then forget about it.
I mean, you look at the phases in Marvel. The only one with series is Phase 4. It's pretty much all series.
Yeah. Anyways, on to some other cool news. So they're finally celebrating Attack of the Clones. So they're doing a variant cover series, a very limited 1 month, I'm pretty sure, 2 month of covers. And they're actually pretty good across the whole board. Like, there's not a single one that I thought was bad. So they're going to show them all off here. So this is one of them on the Bounty Hunters.
I like the colors for sure.
That's the thing. It really pops. You have Star Wars on the left, and then on the right, you have Zam Wesell on Dr. Aphra cover. Kachoon's fave.
Oh, I like this one.
An awesome Clone Trooper attack on the left, and then Yoda versus Dooku on the right. All
it's good thing I don't collect
good.
comics anymore.
Yeah.
That's his flippity flip. Flip.
Yoda's first flip.
Oh, come on. Why did you put that in there? Damn it. Sorry.
I had that in on a high note, So.
Oh, it's Echo.
So, yeah, they confirmed the release date.
Later, duct tape is here.
Oh. Yeah, January 4th is the return of Bad Batch. We'll see them.
We'll bring in the new year with.
Bring in the new. How to start the new year?
What are the odds they make her a badass that's not annoying, or they kill her off? Can I get either one of those? That's what I need. We can't keep doing what she's doing. It's annoying. But anyway, Bad Batch. Okay, now continue.
And now we're on to new comic book day stuff. So issue 2 of Dark Horse's Hyperspace Stories.
I'm liking this cover too. I like a good solid pink. It looks really good on a comic book.
This week, right? This is today.
This is today. The today releases. So yeah, issue 2 on the left is the regular, and the right's the B cover. I like the first issue, and the second one looks like it could be fun too.
It's anthology, right?
Anthology, yeah. So the first issue was based on the Clone War era. This one's original trilogy looks like it's around between 4 and 5, and then the next issue is going to be with Finn and Poe.
I had told myself that I was going to get the Dark Horse comics just to kind of support them because I really enjoyed the old school Dark Horse, but yeah, I never did it.
So it's kind of like one-shot stories in there.
Basically, they might be doing some two-issue stories like how the Adventures did. This one is in the next issue, Darth Vader, number 27.
That's the perfect Kachung book. Look at all the trees.
I love the cover on the left, the A cover.
Yeah, that's
gorgeous.
really cool.
What's fun about the middle one? So, if anyone's not reading, obviously, are you reading the series, Kachun?
Yeah, I'm behind because I read on the app. So
gotcha. So
those right? That's
so there's characters in the middle.
You're not a true fan.
Well, so those characters in the middle, we've already revealed. So they are basically kind of like refugees from Tatooine. And Vader meets them with Sabe, and he's looking at them. And as that series do, where they do the flashbacks to like the to Phantom Menace and the prequels in Red, those are his friends when he was a kid. The one on the left was the little the little Indian kid, and the one on the right is the Rhodian, because they retconned it so it's not Greedo, basically. But
the one that was like Annie called him Annie or whatever. Yeah.
That's them. And pretty cool. And on the right, you have Darth Bane's first cover or first appearance in canon.
And somebody picked me up one of these, right? Because that's got to be like a $5 book.
Yeah. Actually, I remember there were like rumors that I was going to sell for more because it's his first canon appearance, but
and that's the flashlight series.
Yeah, the flashlight series.
They each have their own flashlight.
Yeah, I need to get that one because I'm a fan of Darth Bane, obviously, so I need to get this one, but probably too late.
Is he going to have some kind of cameo in Acolyte?
I have to imagine so. And then we're on to issue 3 of Mandalorian. I could be lying to you. I think this is issue 2.
Man, we really ought to watch a Star Wars show to give us information before we start our own. You know what I mean? Like we really ought to. We ought to really get our crap together, watch a different show.
I think it's
it is issue 3. Sorry, my brain was mixing up the dates on some. Yeah, issue 3 of.
Well, we appreciate that, Tacoma. What's happening, man?
Thank you. So issue 3 of Mandalorian. So on the left is the A cover. On the right is is one of the variants, the B cover. If I'm not mistaken.
The A cover is pretty awesome. Like I kind of like that.
What's funny is the A cover to every issue is a different artist. It's not like the same artist throughout, and then they have different.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So are they are they following basically the series, or is it?
So this is based on each issue is based on the different episode of the series. This is based on
an adaptation.
Yeah. So this is chapter 3. As you can see there, the Sin. That's the
concept
TV,
art.
the concept art variant.
Yeah, they let
somebody get that Jawa a burger. He's a thin one, isn't he? They're usually thicker than that.
And then on the right, you have the the ratio variant. I think that's it's Ryan Stegman. It's actually 25? Quite good. Yeah, 1 in 25.
Stegman on Star Wars?
Yeah. Well, he did some A covers on the recent Vader.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But that Mando is really good.
Oh, good Lord. I got some candy for you.
I was looking for a good photo, then I realized I had the best photo already. So
yeah.
I got all the candy in my van.
So yeah.
All right.
None of you got to watch Andor yet? I'm guessing.
No, I have not watched.
No. Will you be watching tonight?
Not tonight.
I was supposed to watch it. Well, I was supposed to do Twitch tonight, but I might just watch that instead.
I'm probably gonna get through the first episode. I looked at the run times, by the way; they aren't long. And given the how they say the run time, but there's like a million, like there's 10 minutes of credits both ways. Yeah. So episode 1, the run time is 42 minutes. Episode 2, 38 minutes, and episode 3, 43 minutes.
And that includes the credits.
Yeah. But here's something interesting. There's no spoiler here because I have not watched it, nor do I know anything about it. So press release went out to a bunch of people for the first 4 episodes. So people got the 4th episode to watch for press and reviews. But there was some people, there's one person specifically tweeted this thing, which a lot of other people corroborated saying, yep, that's true. They said, you will definitely be surprised with this comic-only character who shows up.
What it was? What?
You'll be pleasantly surprised with this comic-only character that shows up.
Comic-only character.
So you know how we had like what's his name in Book of Boba Fett? We had Black Chrysanthemum show up, right?
Yeah.
And he was only in the comics before. So this is gonna be the live action appearance of someone for the first time. Now we don't know who it is. People have speculated a bunch of ideas. I have my own ideas of who could be too, but
all right, give me top 3.
Top 3. A lot of people are saying Afra, but I don't think it's likely she'd show up.
I was gonna say that, but I think that's they don't. They shouldn't waste that.
They also probably would wanna. They probably would wanna make a big announcement of it.
Yeah.
Based on the time period it is, my biggest pick is probably Valance. That would make the most sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they just have her walk by, totally introduced her, and then she just keeps walking. That's the only thing they show of her. That might make sense, but
yeah, because like for me, it's Valance is the only thing that makes sense. Is
Diva
comics
Lumpa.
only. Otherwise, the only other people I could think of is like Domina Tag could possibly be there, or
you heard it first. We're breaking news around the spot.
I don't even need to say the third person. Then that's fine. That's it.
Valance would be good actually, because he's still in the Navy, right?
I think at that point he is still. Yeah, he's either still in it or he'd be just getting out, depending what the time period is when the first couple episodes are. But I'm not too sure. Obviously, comic-only characters. They've never.
How does it time with Solo?
That's the thing, because he obviously in canon he was in the academy with what's his name with Solo, and that's when he becomes Valance.
Yeah,
at the end of that. So we don't know if this takes place after that or not. I'm not too sure. Nor did I want to.
My first reaction would have to be somebody that's known, but you know. The Black Wookiee boy, he wasn't so super known by the outside world, so
yeah. So it has to be something also makes sense, but comic only. So like they've never showed up in live action before, so this would be an interesting.
Or cartoons.
Also, the other one people brought up was Quinlan Voss, but like it'd be kind of jarring to see him show up that quick. I think
Quinlan Voss.
Remember, because he was brought up in Kenobi. He was mentioned to have survived.
Yeah,
I know that, but he's not. He's been shown on live action before.
Technically, based on that one little thing.
No, not technically. That's his first appearance.
I know
right here.
But you know how they are. They'll probably say, "Yeah, but sure, this is his true first appearance."
If it is him, then we find out who wrote that thing. We burn his house to the ground because you are incorrect, sir. We cannot have that as a fandom. We cannot have your lies scattered across the internet.
Oh, I know. It's going to be Game Master. Creel.
It's gonna be Creel. If that happens, we're gonna hear. We're even be if the episode. If Kachun watches it before us, we're gonna hear it before anything else.
What about the rabbit guy? What's his name? What's the rabbit guy's name?
Would actually erupt if Jackson. You don't know how quick in the middle of the episode I'd be posting Jackson's first appearance on Instagram and just write enough said. I would just write that. That would be hilarious. That'd be amazing.
I would erupt. All right, guys. I think that's it. You got anything else to add?
Pretty awesome character, especially the more you look into him. He definitely is one that makes the Rebels actually competent. So
yeah.
All right. So we'll be back next week. Next week we'll start our review. No. Why?
Well, are we going to be waiting till 6 episodes in, or are we going to do?
Oh,
I think we just got to do it right away if you want to bother with it.
Well, should we break them up into 3 episode pieces, or do you want to do weekly after that?
Probably weekly, we'll have to talk about it. because I know that you're disappearing for a while, so we have to get him in before that.
That's true.
Yeah. So next week we'll probably be starting that review because I think we probably need to get done soon. So wait for the spoilers, but we obviously will tell you when we're going to talk spoilers.
Yep.
I'm sure it's going to be all positive. That's what we do here. We're full of positivity in all TV shows and movies of Star Wars. So we have never been negative. Yeah. Because you can't.
So
disappoint Kachun. It can't be done.
So before we get into that, so obviously I say it's Valance, Kachun says Game Master, and you say Jackson the Rabbit.
That's right. And I think I'm leading going into the clubhouse right now. You know what? It's gonna be like 2:00 in the morning, and if my phone dings like 35 times, I'm gonna be like, "Oh my god, it was!" That's the only person that might be texting me like this. It was 35 times at like 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah. Alrighty then.
Wow, Jeffrey, I do appreciate that. You are obviously.
That's awesome.
All right, so yeah, and other than that, horrible plug here. I do have MrGarrell also gaming, where I go over some games right now. I'm doing Elden Ring, and I'm finishing up Star Wars Knights of the Republic. And then as soon as I get done with that, I will be playing Star Wars Knights of the Republic 2 because that got released for the Nintendo as well. And Elden Ring again, and then I'm doing Cyberpunk on Twitch, and I'm going to start playing. I was going to do it tonight, so I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. But I'm going to start doing the Star Wars game. Help me,
Jedi
Fallen Order. I kind of wanted to wait. I might still wait a little bit on that one because I want to get it closer to whenever
the release date. Obviously, it's speculated for March or April of next year. So
yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. So,
do you do comics anymore? I mean,
do I do comics anymore?
It's just all.
I don't. I will read them. I don't buy them and bring them into my house anymore. I'm overwhelmed here.
Good idea. Great idea.
If you're talking about messages on here, I can't because when I'm sharing my screen, I can't see the messages. If you're talking about messages on Instagram, you're a damn lie, sir. I respond to all messages promptly and on time.
He will get to you within a couple business days.
All right. Well, we'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Say goodbye.
Say goodbye.